I can end this with one buzz call. Madison Keane, 23 years old, delivers the band with the accidental aplomb of addition who's never been told no. She's aptitude advanced slightly, not absolutely smiling, cat and mouse, for the adjudicator to understand. Adjudicator Frank Caprio sets his pen down. Miss Keane, threats don't biking able-bodied on the record. Do you accept the accused join you? I accept this is a misunderstanding. That's not what I asked. Her attorney, Paul DeMarco, stands smoothly. Your Honor, this is a simple cartage matter. My applicant is able to pay any applicative fines and move advanced today. Mr. DeMarco, sit down. This cloister is not a acquittal portal. The words are quiet, but they acreage hard. Paul DeMarco hesitates, afresh sits. Caprio curtains his pen once. Administrator Russo, affirm we accept the anatomy cam audio cued. Yes, Your Honor. Good. Afore we comedy the anatomy cam, acquaint us breadth you're watching from, and subscribe to adjustment in cloister if you're over 50. This video shows what happens. A back ability hits the bench. The agent accomplish forward. Docket 24 to 90847. Commonwealth against Madison Elizabeth Keane. Charges: speeding through an animate architecture zone. Failure to obey a allowable order. Endlessly and continuing in a belted assignment zone. Intimidation and attempted access on an administrator application, a accessible admiral name. Commendation issued by Trooper Carla Mendez, Rhode Island Accompaniment Police. Cartage detail for the administering of transportation on Friday at 9:51 a.m. Caprio leans forward. Miss Keane, did you accept an archetype of the commendation at the scene? I did. And did you apprehend it? I glanced at it. That's not the same. Mr. DeMarco, is your applicant able to abode these accused in abounding today? Paul DeMarco stands again, added carefully this time. Your Honor, we accept the adapted resolution is to pay the fines and abutting the matter. My applicant has no above-mentioned bent almanac and is accommodating to boldness this today. Counselor, I didn't ask about her alertness to pay. I asked if she's able to abode the facts. Sit down. Caprio flips a page. There's a characters here. Above-mentioned authoritative admonishing from Campus Assurance 10 months ago. Miss Keane anchored in an emergency agent lane during a university accident and banned to move aback asked. Not a bent matter, but ambience for judgment. Miss Keane, what happened in that incident? Madison shrugs. It was raining. I was bottomward edition off. Campus Aegis overreacted. The agenda says you told the officer. You can alarm whoever you want. You confused your car afterwards. How long? I don't remember. The address says 27 minutes. An ambulance was delayed accessing the campus Bloom Center. Caprio sets the folio down. That's not abuse for today. It's pattern. Paul DeMarco tries again. Your Honor, my applicant acknowledges she could accept handled Friday's bearings better. She's actuality to booty albatross by advantageous, the fines, and affective forward. Mr. DeMarco, advantageous, accomplished, doesn't advise annihilation except how to use a debit card. I appetite to accept what happened. Miss Keane airing me through Friday morning. Madison exhales, audibly annoyed. I was animate to assignment on the I-195 access abreast the Providence Place exit. There was construction. Orange cones everywhere. Cartage was almost moving. I saw an aperture and took it. Some guy in a belong coiled at me. I chock full for like 3 minutes. A trooper pulled me over and fabricated this huge accord out of nothing. You were clocked at 62 memps in a quaint 35 CPT patent architecture zone. The workers were aloof, continuing around. Nobody was in danger. Miss Keane, architecture zones aren't suggestions. They're animal beings in the lane. Let me apprehend you one band from the assignment breadth adventure log filed by a flagger. Flagger had to footfall aback to abstain vehicle. Madison after effects a hand. I didn't see anyone footfall back. Paul DeMarco objects. Your Honor, we're introducing abstract interpretations that aren't actual to the citation. Counselor, A flagger dispatch aback to abstain actuality hit is not subjective. It's accurate ambiguous action. That's harm. Caprio turns to the administrator continuing abreast the sidewall. Trooper Mendez, amuse apprehend your anecdotal into the record. Trooper Carla Mendez accomplish forward, calm, and precise. At 9:48 a.m., I was assigned to Carthage Ascendancy Detail for a administering of transportation assignment breadth on the I-95 westbound access abreast Avenue 21. The breadth was apparent, with cones, signage, and bargain acceleration limits. At 9:49 a.m., I empiric a Argent Auto access the cone-shaped assignment lane at aerial speed. A dot flagger signaled the agent to stop. The agent did not stop immediately. It connected into the assignment breadth, and chock-full about 50 FT accomplished the flagger, blocking accessories staging area. I approached the driver, afterwards articular as Madison Keane. Aback I explained the violations. She stated, "My mom is the governor. Do you apperceive who my mother is?" Aback I connected autographed the citation. She stated, "I can end this with one buzz alarm to the accompaniment house." Caprio pauses. "Trooper Mendez, did you apperceive those statements as intimidation?" "Yes, Your Honor." Madison leans forward. "That was sarcasm. I was balked by the delay. Let's apprehend it." Administrator Russo, comedy the anatomy cam audio. Aloof the accordant exchange. A abrupt hiss of static. A fresh Madison's articulation abrupt and sharp. "I can end this with one buzz alarm to the accompaniment house." Caprio lets the blackout authority for a moment. "Miss Keane, your mother is Governor Eleanor Keane of the accompaniment of Rhode Island, correct?" "Yes." "And aback you said I can end this. What did you mean?" "I was actuality sarcastic." "Trooper Mendez, how did you adapt it?" "As a threat, Your Honor. An adumbrated after-effect for accomplishing my job. Acrimony doesn't assure alley crews, Miss Keane." Caprio turns to his clerk. "Miss Reyes, were there any contacts to this cloister or the administering, apropos this case, above mentioned to today's hearing?" The agent flips through a log. "Yes, Your Honor. 2 admission calls and 1 voicemail, all from a cardinal registered to the appointment of the governor. Accompaniment of Rhode Island. Timestamps. Aboriginal alarm at 10:14 a.m. Additional alarm at 10:22 a.m. Voicemail larboard at 10:38 a.m. Comedy, the voicemail. A woman's voice, able and controlled. This is calling from the governor's appointment apropos a Carthage bulk involving case Cardinal 24 to 9847. We'd like to altercate options to boldness this agilely afore it proceeds. Amuse acknowledgement this alarm at your ancient convenience. Paul DeMarco is on his feet. Your Honor, my applicant cannot ascendancy what the governor's agents does. This is prejudicial and extraneous to the charges. Overruled. Pressures on action are consistently relevant. We document, we don't speculate. I'm not accusing anyone of bent conduct. I'm putting facts on the record. Madison accoutrement in her seat. I didn't ask anyone to call. Maybe not, but addition anticipation it would help. Let me lay out a timeline. Carthage stop at 9:51 a.m. Aboriginal alarm from the governor's appointment at 10:14 a.m. That's 23 minutes. Caprio looks at the agent again. Is Mr. Victor Alvarez accessible to accord a abrupt statement? He is, Your Honor, by phone. Put him through. A man's voice, abiding and firm, fills the speaker. Acknowledge you, Your Honor. I'm a acreage administrator for the Rhode Island Administering of Transportation. Friday morning, we had a aggregation animate, the I-95 access abreast Avenue 21. Animate lane closure, abounding signage, flaggers posted. At about 9:49 a.m., an agent entered the assignment breadth at aerial speed. My flagger signaled to stop. The agent didn't stop until it was 50 FT into the zone, blocking our accessories staging area. My guys had to abeyance assignment and bright out. One car in an animate lane changes everything. My guys go home to families. One absent disciplinarian erases decades of assurance policy. Madison mutters article beneath her breath. Caprio catches it. Miss Keane, If you accept article to say it clearly. I said they were aloof, continuing there. They were working, Miss Keane. Assignment zones aren't scenery. They're basement element that keeps Anchorage safe. Mr. Alvarez, acknowledge you. Your account is on the record. The band clicks off. Caprio picks up addition document. Miss Reyes, this is an argument account screenshot submitted by the prosecution. Can you apprehend it? From Madison Keane to unbearding contact. Timestamp 10:30 a.m. Friday. Got pulled over. LOL. Mom's appointment will alarm them. Don't freak. Madison's jaw tightens. That was private. It was discoverable. Miss Keane, you beatific that argument at 10:30 a.m. The aboriginal alarm from the governor's appointment came at 10:14 a.m. That's 11 minutes. Addition confused fast. Access is not an eraser. I didn't ask them to, but you accepted it. You told addition not to anguish because your mother's appointment would handle it. That's not frustration. That's entitlement. Paul DeMarco stands again, slower this time. Your Honor, I'd like to appeal that the butt of this audition be handled off the accessible calendar. Given the acute attributes of the governor's appointment actuality involved, accessible affairs could politicize what should be a above-board cartage matter. Mr. DeMarco, sunlight is due process. We're blockage on the record. Caprio fixes Madison with a calm, abiding gaze. I'm activity to ask you 3 yes or no questions, and I charge bright answers. Were you in the animate assignment zone? Yes? Did you avoid Trooper Mendez's instructions and stop in a belted accessories area? I chock full aback, I begin a spot. That's not a no. Did you stop in a belted area? Yes. Did you adjure your mother's position as governor during the stop? Madison hesitates. I fabricated a comment. That's not a no. Did you adjure her position? Yes, Your Honor. This feels like I'm actuality singled out because of who my mother is. Madison's articulation hardens. Bodies acceleration through architecture zones every day, and don't end up in cloister like this. Miss Keane, this is not about who aloft you. This is about what you chose to do, aback you were stopped. Anybody speeds there. Maybe anybody doesn't alarm the governor. You're not targeted. You're noticed. Paul DeMarco accoutrement uncomfortably. Your Honor, Miss Keane is a Contempo Academy alum with no bent record. A distinct blooper shouldn't ascertain her future. I agree. That's why I'm alleviative this as a acquirements gap, not a appearance verdict. The campus assurance admonishing was a whisper. This commendation is a sentence. If we don't allege acutely now, the abutting after-effect ability be a flagger who doesn't footfall aback fast enough. 5 seconds. 7, 10, 12. That's how connected it took this attorneys to bethink that assignment breadth vests can't altercate with SUVs. No one moves. No one speaks. Madison stares at the table. Paul DeMarco's pen hovers. Trooper Mendez stands still abreast the wall. A fresh Caprio speaks quietly. Accountability gets quiet so accuracy can be heard. Here's my finding. The affirmation supports all 4 charges. Trooper Mendez's anecdotal is above board and corroborated by anatomy cam audio, the DOT assignment zone, adventure log, cartage camera timestamp, and the argument message. Miss Keane collection foolishly through an animate architecture breadth at about bifold the acquaint limit. She abandoned a flagger's allowable signal. She chock-full in a belted accessories area. She invoked her mother's position in a address that Trooper Mendez Analytic perceived as browbeating and attempted influence. Caprio pauses. This cloister does not counterbalance cases based on titles, connections, or ancestors' position. Access cannot acting for compliance. Miss Keane, your mother's appointment does not get to intervene. Your cachet does not abolish harm. The law is not a clover rope. He turns a page. I additionally agenda the above-mentioned authoritative admonishing from campus safety. That admonishing was instructional, not punitive. You were told already that emergency lanes matter. You chose not to internalize that lesson. After Effects advise what advantage hid. The abject fines absolute $980. Speeding in an animate assignment zone, $500. Failure to obey a allowable order, $200. Endlessly and continuing in a belted assignment zone, $130. Browbeating an attempted access application, a accessible official's name, $150. Madison exhales sharply. Caprio holds up a hand. I'm not finished. I'm blockage a allocation of that absolute $450 accidental on your abounding and appropriate achievement of a alleviation accountability plan. If you complete it, that allocation is remitted. If you don't, it's reinstated, and you pay the abounding amount. Here's what the plan requires. First, accounting affliction to Victor Alvarez and Trooper Carl Mendez. Not anatomy letters, not accessible relation statements. Absolute affliction that name what you did and what you learned. You will bear them in actuality if both exceed to accommodated you. If either declines, you'll mail them and the cloister will affirm receipt. Second, 50 hours of association account with the Rhode Island Assignment Breadth Assurance and Academy Bridge Beat program. You'll abetment with assurance workshops, admonition alike beat to schools, and assignment anon with DOT acreage staff. The affairs administrator will abide a log to the court. Third, you'll abetment with 3 accessible assurance assemblies for boyhood drivers. No cameras, no branding, no accessible relations, aloof education. Fourth, you'll address and almanac a 60-second accessible account advertisement titled, "Work Zones Are Lives, Not Lanes." The calligraphy will be vetted by this court. No acknowledgement of your family, no branding, no grandstanding, aloof accuracy about why assignment zones abide and what happens aback they're violated. Fifth, you'll complete a disciplinarian accident absorption advance accoutrement, the physics of acceleration in assignment zones, the action of cartage control, and the belief of compliance. Certification of achievement will be filed with the court. Sixth, you'll abide a 750-word accounting absorption on the affair accessible ability against accessible safety. Not slogans, not fluff, apparent accuracy about what you learned. Caprio sets his pen down. Mercy is not a coupon, it's a contract. Additionally, I'm authoritative the afterward recommendations on the almanac to the Borough Cloister Administration, the Carthage Division, the Rhode Island Accompaniment Police, and the appointment of the Governor. 1. Authorize a accessible ex parte access log for all cases. Any off-record admonition attempts accompanying to awaiting cases will be accurate and appear weekly. 2. Apparatus, a binding administrator co-sign and recusal protocol. If any officer, clerk, or cloister agent's affiliate is contacted by a accompaniment akin adopted official or their appointment apropos a awaiting case, that agent's affiliate charge either recuse themselves or access a supervisor's co-signature on all accompanying actions. 3. Actualize automated tow and bright antecedents for assignment breadth obstructions. Vehicles blocking animate assignment zones should activate actual acknowledgement protocols to assure workers. 4. Barrage a cloister agent hotline for political burden reporting. Any attack to access a case through intimidation, connection, or political advantage can appear anonymously. Every address will be investigated. 5. Administer a statewide disciplinarian apprenticeship bore on assignment breadth account featuring absolute adventure data, artisan testimony, and the after effects of violations. If you anticipate no one, not alike a governor, should be able to alarm off a cartage case, subscribe to adjustment in the cloister so this archetypal spreads. The aperture opens. A woman in a aphotic blazer enters mid-50s, composed, the accomplished address of addition acclimated to command. Your Honor, I'm Governor Eleanor Keane. I'd like a moment to altercate my daughter's case. Caprio doesn't stand. Governor, this is an animate hearing. You're acceptable to observe, but I won't altercate the case with you al fresco the record. I'm not allurement for appropriate treatment. I'm allurement to boldness this bulk agilely for everyone's benefit. Governor, quiet resolutions are how patterns continue. This case is actuality handled on the almanac. inaccessible cloister like every added case. Executive ability doesn't biking beyond this bench. Madison interrupts. Mom, stop! This is my case, not yours. Governor Keane turns against her, surprised. Caprio's boring sharpens. Governor, this is not your case to manage. Your babe has counsel. She has a voice. This stays public. Footfall aback and let her use it. The governor hesitates, afresh nods and moves to the aback row. Over the abutting 6 weeks, Madison completes the plan allotment by piece. Anniversary 1. She drafts the apology. The cloister rejects it. Too polished, too abundant deflection, not abundant accountability. She tries again. Better. Victor Alvarez agrees to accommodate her at a DOT acreage office. The chat is brief, uncomfortable, and necessary. He tells her, my Flaggers kids ask him every morning if he'll appear home safe. You fabricated that catechism, real. Trooper Mendes accepts the accounting apology, but declines the in-person meeting. She emails the court. She called what she did wrong. That's enough. Weeks 2 through 5. Madison logs 50 hours with the Assignment Breadth Assurance and Academy Bridge Beat program. She assists with accessories demonstrations at schools, helps alike assurance workshops with DOT acreage staff, and learns how assignment zones are planned, staffed, and executed. One dot architect tells her, every cone is a calculation. Every flagger is someone's parent. Anniversary 5, she co-assists 3 accessible assurance assemblies at aerial schools. No cameras, no posts, aloof students, DOT workers, and accompaniment troopers talking through absolute scenarios. Anniversary 6, she annaled the PSA. The Aboriginal abstract includes accent about my family's charge to basement safety. The cloister sends it back. She annaled it afresh, plainly. No ancestor's name, no branding, aloof her articulation, and the truth. The additional abstract passes. The disciplinarian accident absorption advance takes addition 2 weeks. She completes it afterwards, complaint. The balance is simple. 50 hours logged, 3 assemblies completed, 1 PSA approved, 1 attitude corrected. Victor Alvarez tells the cloister she listened. That's added than most. Should every VIP assignment breadth abuse appear with absolute association service? Yes or no? Acquaint us beneath and subscribe to adjustment in the court. 6 weeks afterwards, the antecedent hearing, Madison allotment to court. This time she's alone. No counsel, no governor, no entourage. Caprio reviews the submitted documents, the apologies, the account log, the PSA recording, the advance certificate, the accounting reflection. Miss Keane, I've apprehend your reflection. I appetite to apprehend you abridge it in your own words. No script. Madison stands. I anticipation assignment zones were aloof about orange cones and delays. I didn't accept that they're about people, flaggers, engineers, accessories operators, accomplishing jobs that accumulate anchorage functional. Aback I entered that breadth, that aerial acceleration, and abandoned the flagger signal. I didn't aloof breach a rule. I affected addition to accept amid accomplishing his job and attention himself. She pauses. I additionally didn't apprehend how abundant I leaned on my mother's position. I've spent my accomplished activity, bold addition would bland things over. Aback I said what I said to Trooper Mendes. I wasn't actuality sarcastic. I was application ability I didn't earn. Ability is declared to assure people, not run over them. What did you apprentice from Mr. Alvarez? That every actuality in a assignment breadth has a ancestor's cat and mouse for them. Acceleration isn't aloof about time. It's about whether addition comes home. What did you apprentice from the DOT staff? That assurance isn't bureaucracy. It's math. Every cone, every sign, every bargain acceleration absolute is a adding advised to accumulate bodies alive. Aback I abandoned that. I abandoned their lives. Caprio nods. You chock-full borrowing ability and started earning character. He signs a form. I'm remitting $350 of the backward portion. You still owe $630 total. You'll pay it in installments over 6 months. The cloister will advise her compliance. Acknowledge you, Your Honor. Don't acknowledge me. Acknowledge the bodies who accomplished you what I couldn't. 3 months later, the behavior booty root. The cloister publishes its Aboriginal Accessible Ex parte Access log. 2 attempts are logged in the Aboriginal week, both handled transparently. Both cases reassigned per protocol. Officers and clerks address activity adequate by the new administrator authenticate requirement. Automated tow and bright antecedents for assignment breadth obstructions is adopted statewide. Average approval time drops by 40%. The agent hotline receives 7 letters of political burden attempts in the Aboriginal quarter. Bristles advance to academic reviews. Madison's PSA is broadcast to 32 aerial schools and included in the statewide disciplinarian apprenticeship curriculum. It's not viral, it's not celebrated, but it's acclimated, and that's enough. One duty flagger emails the court. My son watched that video in academy and asked if I'm safe at work. We had an absolute conversation. Acknowledge you. On a quiet Friday afternoon, Caprio finishes his aftermost case of the week. Afore leaving, he writes a distinct assumption on the agenda and pins it to the account Lath abaft his bench. Titles expire. Assignment, breadth injuries, don't accept your side. He thinks of Madison Keane, of the flagger dispatch back, of Trooper Mendez continuing in the assignment breadth, with a brand addition approved to abolish, with 1 buzz call. He turns off the ablaze and locks the door. Dramatization for storytelling and education, not acknowledged admonition or reporting.